Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at Hydreigon Tera Box. Well, I say Tera Box, it's sort of like a Tera Box, but that's just the way I built it, and well, I thought Tera Box was a cooler name. So as per usual, in the description below, there will be the usual links to the deck list, which is also available to copy in the description below. There's the games that we'll play, and the outro and what I think of the deck. So, of course, we're going to be taking a look at Hydreigon today. Not in the way that people mostly are playing it, like with Pidgeot and stuff. I probably will take a look at a version like that, but well, Hydreigon is a card that I used to play quite a bit. I used to like Hydreigon. And, well, it's actually a pretty strong card if you can get it going. Obviously, the first attack for a Dark and a Colorless, Crashing Headbutt for 200 damage, discards the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Not only is that a pretty good effect, but, well, it actually does line up perfectly for Obsidian on the bigger stuff. So you can go Crashing Headbutt with a Dark and a Colorless, then attach Neo Upper or something like that to go for Obsidian, and just devastate your opponent's board. And honestly, Hydreigon is such an underrated card, but it's just so awkward getting it set up because it's a Psychic, it's a Dark, it's a Metal, and then a Colorless, you know, and then obviously it's a Stage 2, so you have to normally Rare Candy into it, and obviously 130 won't deal with big stuff, you know, it's one of those cards that has so much potential, but right now it's just limited. But that's why I thought, we've seen it with a Teal Mask approach and obviously Noctowls and stuff like that, so why not give it a try ourselves? So we're playing 2 Teal Mask Ogerpon in this list. We are also playing a Lillie Clefairy. We're playing Psychic Energy anyway, so it literally is a no-brainer to have this. The only thing that we're not playing in here is a Munkidori, which you could play a Munkidori in here, I think. But obviously we are playing a 4-4 line of the Noctowl and Hoothoot to obviously try and get our Jewel Seekers to obviously get the stuff that we need. And while having Noctowl is just very useful to have anyway. We're also playing Bloodmoon Ursaluna for the late game, as per usual with this sort of deck. Tera Box typically plays a Bloodmoon as it is, and well, he's just a useful card to have. Obviously we also have a Latias in here, which could potentially attack as well. So we do have a lot of options in that regard, and of course we do have a Mew for copying stuff. And, well, Hydreigon actually goes through Cornerstone, which is pretty nice. Obviously it doesn't kill it, but it doesn't have to, because discarding top 3 cards of your opponent's deck is pretty devastating even in itself. So, let's go to the deck list, and let's have a look. And welcome to the deck list. So this deck list has been a bit, there's no other word to really put it, a bit of a pain, I must admit. It's very much one that I've been trying to work on for a little bit of time, and it is quite a chore, let's put it that way. So of course we have the 4-4 Noctowl line, which is nice. We also have the 2-1-2 line of the Hydreigon. We have the Teal Mask Ogerpons, which can also attack in this list, which is pretty nice. And of course we have 2 Fan Rotoms to help set us up, 1 Bloodmoon Ursaluna, 1 Lillie Clefairy, 1 Latias, 1 Mew, and 1 Fez. Then for our supporters, we're playing 3 Crispin, 2 Boss, 1 Hilda, 1 Lillies, 1 Turo, 1 Iono. For the items, we're playing 4 Nest Ball, 3 Ultra Ball, 2 Rare Candy, 2 Energy Switch, 1 Earthen Vessel, 1 Body Poffin, 1 Night Stretcher, 1 Counter Catcher, 1 Super Rod, 1 Air Balloon as a little bit of support, 2 Area 0 Underdepths to obviously try and get as many stuff on the board as we can, 4 Grass Energy, 2 Dark Energy, 2 Psychic Energy, 1 Metal Energy, and of course 1 Neo Upper Energy. This has been a bit of a pain to get going, this list, but so far it's been running pretty decently. Obviously, Hydreigon, as I said, Crashing Headbutt plus Obsidian pretty much solves most matchups, like with the damage output required. And even in the mirror, it actually does matter as well, so, you know, if we run into a Hydreigon deck, it can at least help. But obviously, I don't think this is as good as a Pidgeot version, but obviously we do have the option of Jewel Seeker, which gets us multiple cards, as opposed to Pidgeot, which, you know, is another, well, only gets us 1, and also Pidgeot is a 2 prizer, Noctowl's a 1 prizer, so, you know, there are different lines that you could explore and everything. But I think so far this list has worked pretty well. Obviously, we do need to account for Neo Upper as a potential option in this list, which is why we're playing 1 Hilda, so we can potentially search the Neo Upper. And to be honest, it's not been too bad. Like I say, we do have the option of going into Zweilous as well with the 1 Zweilous, but ideally we want to be candy or using Rare Candy, so that's why we're playing 2 instead of 1. Because, well, it's our only evolution attacker that requires a Rare Candy, but the simple fact is, if we can get it going, this card will be absolutely devastating to our opponent's setup. So, let's go to the games and see how we do. And welcome to the first game. I've obviously been playing a little bit of the ladder, not much. I've barely moved from Gardevoir rank. And it seems every time I do, I am paired against people who are miles above me, because this still has no concept of matchmaking. Honestly, it's really not that difficult to get matchmaking sorted for this sort of thing, like cap people to a certain, shall we say, degree, but no, it just seems to not be the case. So we do have the Deino, which is pretty good to start with. We do have Candy Neo Upper in hand, so we can even get the Hydreigon going quite early, which, as I said, that's part of the strategy, and it's pretty dang good. So we could go Nest Ball for a Teal Mask, Nest Ball for a Fan, and then obviously start setting up our board. And also we get an attachment to the Deino as well, which is always nice. But let's see what we're facing. Let's see what we're facing. It's taken our opponent a little bit of time to set up, but I'm not bothered about that. Obviously, they've probably gone to use the restroom or whatever to, you know, have a pee or whatever before the match starts. And looks like they're back, so that's good. Never mind, they're not. Oh, they are. They are. That's alright then. And Monkey Dory. Okay, that's fine. And another Nest Ball, so we can get another Deino down, just in case. So let's have a quick look at the prizing first. So we're not prized any Teal Mask, which is good. Not prized any Hydreigon. We have prized one Noctowl, but that's fine. We've prized our Hilda, but that's fine, because we have Neo Upper in hand. Otherwise, not much else to report in terms of prizing, which is good. So now we're going to grab a Nest Ball, grab a Fan Rotom, Nest Ball again, and grab ourselves a Teal Mask. Obviously, we have no energy to accelerate to the Teal Mask, but it's not that big of a deal. So now we can go for a Fan Call, grab 2 Hootoots and 1 Noctowl. Do that. Attach to Deino. Pass. Because like I say, this, if we get an Ultra Ball off the top, that is pretty good. There's a Dark Energy for Monkey Dory. Turbo Energize. Mega Signal. Okay. I think this is towards deck. This could get tough then. I mean, we can mill them, which is pretty nice, but obviously, ideally, we want to be going for the Neo Upper Crispin Hydreigon attack, because we can take out the monkeys and devastate their board, which would be pretty nice. And there's Turbo Energize. Where are we going to put it to, though? That's my question. Both to the Absol. Fair enough. Alright, so let's see what we get. We're going to boss off the top. It's not particularly useful. But it is discard fodder. I know it seems rough discarding that, but, well, we don't have much of a choice. So now we can go Ultra Ball away, boss, and the counter catcher. We are losing a lot of Gust, but I can deal with that. We can grab the Hydreigon. We can go Rare Candy into Hydreigon. We can attach the Neo Upper. We can then Crispin, bring a Psychic, or Grass, and a Psychic. We can put the Grass into hand, attach the Psychic to the Hydreigon. We can Teal Dance, get an extra draw in, not too bad. And now we can Obsidian, take out Monkey Dory, take out the other Monkey Dory, and put some damage on that Absol. And we did that with 1 Noctowl. Now imagine what we could do with 2, is all I'm going to say. That is crazy work. And straight concession, I don't blame you, mate. That was disgusting. That was absolutely disgusting. We managed to get the turn 2 Hydreigon and just completely destroy their board. Like, they could have gone for Claw of Darkness, but obviously we did take 2 prizes, so they wouldn't have hit our Vessel most likely. But, yeah, let's go to game 2. That was quite disgusting in that first game, but, well, that's just what this list can do. And, well, if you can do it with 1 Noctowl, like I said, what do you think you could do with 2? Yeah, that was just completely disgusting. Yes, we had to get rid of our counter catcher and our boss, but as we saw, well worth the effort, you know? Like, if they did promote the Kangaskhan, we would just hit them with Crushing Headbutt and just mill cards. So they didn't really have an option there, and they're making us go first. So I'll accept that. I don't mind going first. Okay, we get the Hoothoot start and the Deino start. That's fine. I'll start the Deino. That is completely fine with me. And we're facing Garchomp. Okay, this could get interesting. That is fine with me. So we will Nest Ball. Grabbing a Fan, I think. Is it actually correct to grab a Fan here? Because the problem is if we do... I don't think it's correct. I think we grab a Teal Mask. Because the problem is we want to Iono next turn. So that could be something that we consider. I might as well attach here. And we'll pass. I don't think it's correct to grab the Fan there, believe it or not. I don't think it is. Now, one card I think you should play in here, I forgot to mention it in the deck list, is a Terra Orb. Terra Orb would be busted in this deck, but I forgot to put it in. I'll be honest, I forgot that the card existed. But no. Let's see. Arven. Probably for a Body Poffin plus a TM Evo. Obviously, this matchup could be a bit shaky. Like, they can potentially hit the numbers that they need. To one-shot us, but obviously we do have Teal Mask as an attacker, so that can be an option for us. They're grabbing the Air Balloon, which may mean their Evos are prized, which could be good. That's pretty good for us. But no, this list is disgusting when you get it going. Okay, there's Bidoof. That could be an issue. They can go into Bidoof. And it looks like they're going to. That's fine, we don't need to rush this. Fighting Gong. Grab a Gibble. Okay, that's fine. Getting energy onto the Gibble. And Ichipollen for 20, because Deino is Grass Week. Okay, that's set us back a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. So we can go for a Noctowl. So we do have the Teal Mask Ogerpon in play. Do we have the Zweilous? We do have the Zweilous, so I'll grab Hilda. And I think, because like I said, we can't play any item cards, so it's no point us doing anything. We'll take this. So we can Hilda for Zweilous plus a Grass. Then Teal Dance. There's another Hoot, that's pretty useful. We can then free retreat into the Teal Mask, evolve the Zweilous, and pass. I could have grabbed Neo Upper there, but it's not worth it, because like I say, if they manage to get the attack going, they could devastate our board. And I'd rather park a 2 prize in front of them, that's at least decently tanky, because they don't tend to play Candy in those lists. If they do, it's at least 1. But it's not that big of a deal if they do. Another Buddy Poffin, obviously 2 gigabytes. Okay. And they can just go for an Ichipollen, which is not a big deal. We can't play Ultra Ball, which is the only bad part of this. But if we Iono into something like Neo Upper plus Hydreigon, we could get this attack going. Even though we can't Obsidian yet, we can at least do what we need to do. So that's at least something. The Itchy's probably going to come down in a second, but I'm not too worried about it. Champion's Call. They can start grabbing Garchomps, but, you know, I don't think they need to, per se. Yeah, we could just Iono them away, but they can just search them again. I don't know why they spent their turn at grabbing the Garchomp, personally, but that's their decision, I guess. But yeah, the Ichipollen is annoying, but if we get the luck off of Iono, we could be okay here. There's the Itchy. Obviously, we have our top deck as well, which could be nice. Crispin's pretty good, but we don't need it. We'll just Iono. There's Noctowl. We can't use it yet. Well, we can, but We don't get what we need. That's the only issue. So even if we had a Tera, we'd be in a bad spot regardless. I think for now we just take Ultra Ball and we will just take Energy Switch. It doesn't really matter because, like I said, we can't do anything because of this Bidoof. We can bench the Fan, I guess, to threaten it, but that's about all we can do. There's not a lot of options we have here. We can retreat into Fan at the very least, but yeah, this Itchy Pollen is very annoying. I don't know who was like designing this card when they did, but they must have been drunk, I think. Like they've got to have been drunk. Free item locking on a free retreat basic is just crazy. Genuinely crazy. But hey, I don't make the rules around here. But no, if they manage to Gust Zweilous this next turn, we could be in a very bad position. Very bad position. There's a Cynthia's Power Weight. That could be fine. Champion Score. Are they going to go for the Garchomp attack? Is my question. And if they do, they're probably going to go for the Teal Mask, because the Teal Mask is 2 prizes. You don't want to go on even or odd prizes if you can avoid it. If we can, of course, we could Gust the Gabite with the Power Weight and obviously Mill with Crashing Headbutt, but I think they're just going to sit behind Itchy Pollen, which, you know, you do you, I guess. There's a Fighting Energy. They're probably going to go into the Garchomp. They're splitting their energies up as well. But no, if we can get the Crispin off and obviously start attacking this Bidoof, we could be in a good position, but not a great one. But let's see what happens. Champion's Call again. For another Garchomp. Obviously, we don't play Devo, which is one of the main things to consider. We don't play a Devo, so it could be a case of, like, we go around the Garchomps until we have to deal with it, so to speak. Obviously, this one is going to be our priority, because we do perfectly math it, so to speak. This one we can obviously get 2 Crashing Headbutts off, but they can potentially one-shot us with Draconic Buster. So we need to be very careful. They wouldn't need a lot to do it. There's a Power Weight, or a Power Pro, sorry. And they're Power Weighting the Spiritomb to protect it from the Obsidian. They are taking quite a long time with their move, which is odd because you don't have a lot of actions. Like, you've played most of your actions. There's the big Garchomp. We can at least get a Crashing Headbutt off at the very least, which is good. Obviously, we only want to Obsidian if we can take out the Spiritomb, but obviously we can't because it is 10 HP more. But we can at least get Hydreigon swinging at the very least. We can Crashing Headbutt the active Garchomp. And if they try and run away with it, we can boss it, so it's not the end of the world. But no, this opponent is getting the vibe of slow playing, which is annoying, but it's just what we have to deal with. So we will Nest Ball, grab our Fez for a little bit of draw. Flip the script. That's pretty good. We can grab ourselves a Deino and a Hoothoot. So that's not bad at all. So like I say, our prize map ideally, we want to be going through this Garchomp, Obsidianing these 3, and then finishing up with Bloodmoon, preferably. That's the idea anyway. So we can grab you, and we can grab you. Put Psychic on as Zweilous. Dark Energy to Zweilous. Ultra Ball away one of the Crispins, and... do we actually need this second Crispin? I don't think we do, but I'd rather keep... I'm going to keep the Crispin. Grab the Hydreigon. We've only got 1, but that's not the end of the world. We can evolve into the Hydreigon. We can then Teal Dance to the Ogerpon. We can get a Night Stretcher. That's not too bad, actually. That's useful. We might need this. Grass Energy, that is. And we will Crashing Headbutt for 200 damage. A Candy, Town Store, and a Fighting. Not too bad. Obviously, our main worry is if they manage to get Roserade going, they can knock us out. And I don't know if they play more than a 2-2 line. I know they have a Premium Power Pro, but this is literally our best angle. And yeah, we're going to lose this Hydreigon. That is bad. That's really bad. I think if they don't have a Fighting Energy, we're okay, but they should have a Fighting Energy. They have a Luminous, so that covers it. Shit. Yeah, this is not looking good for us, I'm afraid, folks. And they've even got a Crispin to rub my nose in it further. Lovely. Yeah, this is not good for us at all. They can get an energy onto this Garchomp at the very least, so they can just chain Garchomps. But no, they have the knockout now. They're doing 320. We already had 20 on us from the Badoo, so they are knocking us out. That feels rough. We could potentially attack with Teal Mask, but again, that puts us behind. We could take out the bench one. Let's Fez for 3 first. I think we had Counter Catcher in deck. We could take out the bench one and put him behind a turn. Let's have a look. We do. Excellent. So, I can grab Counter Catcher Super Rod. Rod back in the Hydreigon Dark and Psychic. We can then Counter Catcher the one on the bench. Do I want to? I'm going to bench this second Teal Mask. Crispin. Put the Psychic there. We can then Teal Dance. Manually attach. And Myriad. That's probably our best line here. They can go into Spiritomb, which is the worst case scenario. So I've got to hope they don't have an energy, but I think they do. Or they don't see that line, potentially. But they probably will. Either way, this is not looking good for us. Like, the best thing we can hope for is we go Ultra Ball, get rid of Lilies, get rid of one of these switches. We got to hope this Ogerpon survives, basically. Because we could Obsidian for game here. We could. We could very much Obsidian for game, but they're going into the Spiritomb. And obviously we're 10 off of knocking out the Spiritomb, and there's the Dark Energy. We lose our Ogerpon. I'm glad I did put that second one down. I could Crashing Headbutt this anyway, because they can't one-shot us. I could do that, and I think that's correct. There's a Monkey. Oh, they've got the Stamp. No! They don't normally play Stamp. That's so bad for us. That is so bad. Why are they playing Stamp, man? They don't normally play Stamp. I can get rid of one of the Noctowls. That is so bad for us. They had everything, like, they had Stamp, Artisan, everything. That is mental. And obviously because of the 10 damage already on... Yeah, there goes Teal Mask. That is so bad. We probably lose here, I'll be honest, folks, because even if we go into Bloodmoon, they just need a Fighting Energy, and they're only down 4 energy. So we're going to the Deino, because at least we have a retreat. At the very least. We can Artisan, Shuffle, and also Thin. Well, we're not thinning now, but it's fine. I can bench the Hoothoot, I guess. It's not a bad idea too. Flip the script. Okay, that doesn't really get us anywhere. I think we just lose from here because there's literally nothing we can do. If we Vessel for a Grass, how many Grass we got left? I think we've got 1 Grass left in deck. We have 1 Grass left in deck. Right, Teal Mask, earn your paycheck. No, don't do that. There we go. No, want to mattered anyway. Alright, let's go to game 3. Well, that was quite an unfortunate game too there. Very unfortunate that they had the stamp and everything. They had the stadium bump and all that sort. Yeah, that just feels rough. But, well, that's what happens when you face the main character, as I keep saying. Sometimes on PTCG Live, you just face the person who is the main character and will win against you no matter what. Not getting Obsidian going early was also a bad thing, but obviously we did get Bedewed, which obviously set us back quite a bit, but it's fine. And they're making us go first. That's completely fine with me. I'm happy with that. Latias start I'll take as well. That's completely fine with me. Oh no, it's a control deck. Oh, this is not the stress I need in the morning. Alright. Get rid of you. Get rid of you, because we need a Teal to mask down. We prize one of them, but that's fine. We'll do a proper deck check when we go for a Buddy Puffin. We'll grab you and you. So we've prized one Fan Rotom. We've prized one Noctowl, because obviously one is in the bin. Oh no, we haven't prized any, ignore me. Otherwise, have we prized a Iono PAL? No. Have we prized Hilda? No. Okay, that seems pretty good. So then, Fan Call. That's fine with me, Chief. Then we can Teal Dance. Ooh, do I do that now? I don't think I do, because if they have Psychic in hand, or a way to get Psychic, or a Special Energy, they could just slight shift it onto, like, Fan or something. We could... No, I think we can. We could potentially get Rare Candy Hydreigon going down. That's game. We get a donk. We get a donk. There's nothing you can do here, mate. Oh, well, that just seals your fate. So we'll go for the Noctowl. We will grab the Hilda, because that's all we need. Hilda for a Hydreigon, and we might as well grab a Grass. Rare Candy into Hydreigon. Attach to the new upper. Free Retreat, and Crashing Headbutt for the donk. What the hell was that Turnator? Discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon EX. You know what? You do you, mate. Get out of here with that control list. But no, that just proves like how disparity like the games can be with this deck. Like you'll have games where you just completely destroy your opponent. We could have even Obsidianed, like we had the option to Obsidian. If we went for Crispin plus something else to discard, we could easily get Obsidian going. So they would have been devastated regardless. So what do I think to the deck? This deck is really spicy and is really fun to play. Obviously, I think its worst matchups are stuff like Garchomp, because obviously if you don't get to Obsidian early, it can be pretty tough. But I honestly think the Pidgeot version might be a little bit more consistent, but at the same time, having a Tera Box sort of approach does give you more lines and everything like that. But honestly, this deck is a ton of fun to play. I would say if you are going to play this deck, please put a Terra Orb in. Don't be an idiot like Joe is. Put a Terra Orb in. That way you don't have to Ultra Ball so often to get your Hydreigons. It will make your life so much easier. But genuinely, Hydreigon in this sort of build is disgusting, and I will not be told otherwise. Because, like I said, even if our opponent benched some lower HP Pokemon, we could have Obsidian them. So, you know, we had the options there. But anyway, I'm going to leave it all to it for today. I really hope you enjoyed seeing Hydreigon Tera Box. Like I say, please put a Tera Orb in if you are going to play this deck. And I will see you next time.